Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's the J Gemini. So tonight I wanted to have another interesting knife sort of review slash overview. Knife that ended up coming to me in sort of a buy-sell trade. It was sort of tacked in to a deal, and it's going to be something I think of a catch and release. But I thought it was an interestingly enough knife and sort of a crossing point to kind of talk about this type of knife and why I think it really fits really well in the sort of role that it fills. So anyways, just sort of ahead and jumping right in. Today, actually looking at this little guy. This is a Microtech UTX-70. Now Microtech should need no introduction whatsoever. Everyone is going to know about them if they are in the knife world. They are highly sought after knives. And, you know, people just really fall in love with them. So, if you haven't heard of Microtech or you're new to knives, you'll notice that this knife, the way that it's working, is a lot different than a knife like this. And that is because this is an OTF, or an out the front knife. So that basically, I mean, hitting it right nail on the head, is a knife that instead of folding out, and you actually end up actuating this switch all the way forward until it hits the point at which it overcomes a spring and it fires out a blade. Same thing, this is a double action OTF, so when you pull back far enough, it compresses a spring and then it releases the tension and slams the blade back into the housing here, this aluminum chassis. Now, Microtech is one of the first to really pioneer the OTF. Anthony Marfione is the owner of Microtech, and he is and always has been very much into the tactical community, the law enforcement community, and he's sort of pioneered this design. This is sort of the bar that all other OTFs are judged by, and rightfully so. Now, OTFs, being that they do this, is an automatic knife, and automatic knives are not legal in every single place, so please check your local laws. But this OTF is kind of interesting. One of my biggest problems about an OTF is the fact that because of that, there is no, hey, I'm in a lunchroom cafeteria, or I'm in a Starbucks. Okay, just really... Okay, got that string, right? Or, hey, you know what? I need to get this right here off my... It's... Shabow, I'm out. Bam, boom. Right? There is no slow and controlled. Unless you can fire the blade, catch it, and then slowly, you know, like some sort of ninja reaction, it's going to deploy, make maximum level noise, retract, make maximum level noise, right? And so for some that might be scary, and some people might be out there and they might think, hey, I don't really care what others think, but others can sort of understand. They want to sort of be respectful, they want to sort of toe the line in a way, and that's why I carry, and getting right into size comparison as well, that's why I usually carry two knives on me. Something that's more of a locking main knife, and then something that is a little bit more friendly for people to look at. They're not going to get scared. Now, size comparisons. Here we have a Benchmade Bug Out Mini and an 93mm A-Lux Victorinox. Here are the knives open, so you can get an idea of these knives. So I have praised the Benchmade Bug Out for having an amazing blade to handle ratio. That means that the size of the blade is very close, comes almost all the way to the end of the handle. A little less on the Victorinox, comes to where about this silver stud is. And as you can see here, not so great, right? But I think that is where this sort of shines. You know, if somebody sees you make a little noise, and then they look over, and then they just see this in your hand, they're like, oh, that's cute. And this is about the size of the almost about the size of the blade of a standard Victorinox's sort of parcel knife, or office knife is what I like, but some people call it second knife, or has a lot of different names. But being that this is so small, this really sort of lends that sort of, hey, I just need a knife for utilitarian, right? And I want something that's sort of different, I want something that's unique, something that's convenient, that I don't have to think about. So with this, I can just pop it open and fire it. While something bigger, like a UTX-85 or the full-on Ultratech, the sort of OG of the OTF game, is much bigger. And again, somebody sees that big blade that's about that big, or 3 inches that big, firing out, and they're kind of like, whoa, what's going on? So I kind of feel like this little guy really lends itself to being a great little fun EDC knife, right? Because it has a lot of great features. It might be lighter or just as light as the mini bug out, which the regular bug out is already super duper lightweight, but this is just insanely lightweight. It's also about half the tallness of your bug out and actually thinner than the regular bug out. So if you wanted something that was just a blade and as unobtrusive as possible, but also highly, highly strong, because these OTFs, they really take out a lot of variables. There is no way that it can close on your hand like this, and if it does fail, it's just going into the knife itself. Usually the motions that you're pressing it into is just stabbing it into something like that's not going to really be a hard material, right? You're not going to stab it into a concrete. So usually like a package, or if you are doing something that's a little bit harder of a push cut, it's going in this direction, into the chassis, not back into the sort of cam system that works. And that cam system is very, very strong in these Microtechs. I've seen somebody beat them with a hammer, a YouTuber called X-Ring. Definitely go check him out. He does some crazy cool reviews with Microtech, and I believe now he even works at Microtech because of his initial reviews, and I've gotten a lot of enjoyment out of that. Now, what I like about the knife, like I said, super duper thin. It is not super threatening, although you still get that sort of cool OTF. The fit and finish of any Microtech product is amazing, and the top of the line steels. This is CTS 204P, same as 20 CV and M390, and those are sort of hot words in the EDC game these days. Those are sort of the top of the line. They're pretty tough. They hold an edge for donkeys long amount of time. Almost said donkey's years. Sorry, I've been watching a lot of watch stuff again. So I've been watching the Urban Gentry channel a lot since I've gotten some back into watches. But like I said, and it's really corrosion resistant, and it's about medium to sharpen. So it's a really good balanced steel. They use a lot of the top line steel. So one thing with Microtech is that they cycle their steels 204P, 20 CV, M390, and sometimes you'll even see LMAX, which is a slightly different formulation from Bowler. The bad things about this knife, I would probably say is, and this is really all Microtechs, is it's kind of hard to actuate the action, and every single action is a little bit different as well. You have this X pattern that they end up putting on their knives, and it's just not the most friendly material. It's pretty rough, as you can see right here. I mean, you can't make skin be tougher, right? I mean, unless you get like more and more calluses, I guess, which I have some there from, opening, closing knives and messing with my Medford, right? But it's something that you have to put quite a bit of force, and some people say it's a technique that you learn over time, which it is. If you sort of push into this thing, it makes it easy, and then you can sort of use the meat of your finger here and draw back, or like the side of your joint and draw back if it's really tight. But I've had Microtechs that I've loved so much, like full and see right there, couldn't overcome that spring pressure just because my nail's been a little sore, got it jammed and busted, and it's already a little short as it is, so it's kind of bleeding there, so that's on me. But even then, I've had a full and Ultratech that is sort of worn out my finger after just 2-3 times opening it. I'm just like, and it's just not an enjoyable experience. And there are other companies out there, such as, hold on, they make the, what is it, 035? I want to say it's Guardian Tactical, that's what it is. Guardian Tactical, they actually have a polished steel plate with ceramic ball bearings that takes out all the friction from this, while this, you're just pushing an aluminum coating with this high-end, I believe it's steel, or I think this is steel or aluminum button, back and forth. So there's a lot of friction there, and some people say they break in, some people say they really don't. Again, I'm not really here to get into all of that, but this button just could be improved, or they could put, you know, a ceramic sheet underneath here or something to enhance this design. But again, it's sort of one of those things that for the people that it does work for, they're like, you don't need to change a thing, it's perfection, right? I think it's always good to, like Spyderco, do CQI and constantly improve, and this is almost perfect as it is. An interesting thing just to point out is, unlike the UTX-85, which is 85% of the Ultratech or the Ultratech, that has great jimping here, as well as on the back and right here. And even though this is like a sort of slab-sided, slippery a piece of aluminum, it's some of the best jimping I've felt in my life, and it just locks in. So even right there on the end, I have no fear that my hand's going to slip off the guard or off the chassis and into the blade. This doesn't have that, and I guess they're just kind of thinking that you have a whole grip like that. It's not a negative or a positive, just something I saw, right? I don't feel like this is really a dangerous knife because of that, or that I would knock it down. You also have your sort of classic glass breaker on the back here, and the reversible pocket clip. And of course your tri-wing screws that Microtech is kind of known for. They really don't want you getting into their stuff, in case somebody doesn't know what they're doing, although the inside of this is pretty simple if you kind of understand the engineering behind it. But yeah, that's kind of an overview of this knife. There's not really too much to go on. Again, I think where this would really excel, it is a California legal, apparently. Again, check your local laws. I'm not a lawyer. I don't live in California. But as you can see, this guy is small, and you know, whipping out something even like this would probably be a lot more like, what is that about? What's that guy doing? Than if you ended up firing this off and they see that you have the smallest knife ever in your hand, right? It's just, you know, great for EDC work. It's like a little fine scalpel, right? So I think it's cool. Would I like to see the blade maybe a little longer, like that longer? Yeah, that would be kind of cool to see something that would extend that out, but might be, let me see here. And if you're wondering what I just did, this basically runs on a system that tensions the spring and then lets it go. After it's in the middle, there's nothing driving it forward. It's basically like throwing a ball, right? It's that momentum carrying through, like a slingshot, right? Release it. But if you just have the rubber in the middle of the slingshot, it's just, you know, has no tension under it. So unlike the movies where if you end up having something in front of this, it's just going to hit that and sort of barely stop, just barely penetrate it instead of going all the way through. Here is a little advertisement thing from my Seiko that I got, and so as you can see, it stopped. It sort of pushed it out of the way, but there's barely even damage done to this. It didn't even penetrate the other side. So as you can see, it's built like a safety, and if it gets out of track, you just pull it all the way like that, let it go, it's good to go, and it's back in action, right? So single action OTFs are the ones that have constant spring pressure the whole way through. Well, this isn't. So you want yourself a Hot Wheel size knife. Clear F1, by the way, coolest card ever. Then yeah, the UTX-70 is great. It's so thin, small. Like if you just wanted to have a knife that was kind of fun, different, just carry one knife all the time, not really having to worry. Yeah, and just, it's pretty simple. There's not too much to it because it is so small, and you know, it really fits just in one task. So I think it's pretty cool if you've been thinking about getting one and you want something that is a little bit more small. I feel like that small knives are where automatics are the coolest, because to me, larger knives, the fidget factor is cooler to me than having a knife that opens when I push a button, right? But something like a Launch 4, something like this, that is small, that cool factor is there because they're just so zippy and poppy, and normally actuating a small knife is kind of hard anyways, while the automatic sort of lends to that. That's just me. Some people think that, you know, automatic knives in general are the alpha, they're the feline's hindquarters, they're the coolest thing since sliced bread. So, you know, if that's your thing, I'm not, you know, going on you there at all. That's just my thing. I like fidgetability, being able to open slow in different ways and everything like that, not just one way in, one way out. So, hope you guys enjoyed this little tiny review that I've done for this little tiny knife. Of course, if you liked the video, as always, please give a like, and I would appreciate it if you subscribe, as we are very close to hitting 500 subscribers, and I'm trying to quickly grow my channel. Of course, if you have any comments, I'd love to answer them below. And most importantly, thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this video, as there is so many other great creators that you could also be watching at this time as well. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Everybody stay safe. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.